Hello everybody. Today we'll discuss physiology of equilibrium. In our previous lecture, we have learned regarding physiology of vestibular apparatus. We have seen that the receptor present for balance in vestibular apparatus is the hair cells. And today's talk, objectives of our today's lecture is role of vestibular apparatus in equilibrium, role of brainstem, role of cerebellum, role of spinal cord, and what is a vestibular reflex. Now in the brainstem, we have got a group of nuclei which are scattered bilaterally. This nuclei, which is yellow located here, is called as a vestibular nucleus. In the pons, these are pontine reticular nucleus. Reticular means nuclei which are scattered in a meshwork fashion. And in the medulla, these are called as medullary reticular nucleus. Again, these are nothing but meshwork of nucleus scattered all over the brainstem. The key here is the vestibular nuclei, which has got connections with the vestibular apparatus. Now, in this schematic diagram, I am trying to show the position of head with respect to that location of bilateral vestibular apparatus. Now, the sensory nerve, which is arising from vestibular apparatus, that is vestibular nerve, is having connection with this our vestibular nuclei located in the brainstem. Now if there is a movement of head in any direction, suppose we are moving the head from right to left or turning the head, see what happens because of this. There will be movement of endolimb from one to other direction. So here endolimb is moved here, and because of this, obviously the hair cells will move in opposite direction. This will lead to generation of action potential. If you just recall, because of movement of hair cells towards kinocilium, there is opening of potassium channel, potassium influx and depolarization. Now impulse will start from here and will go to the vestibular nucleus. So there is stimulation. Now at the same time, what happens? This gets stimulated because of movement, but on other side, see here, movement will be in opposite direction. Movement is like this. That means towards the ampulla. So this will be exactly reverse as compared to right. This movement was like this, away from ampulla, and this movement is towards ampulla. So exactly opposite movement of hair cells takes place. Because of this, there is inhibition. So there was a hyperpolarization here, and depolarization here, and there is hyperpolarization here. So one stimulates and other inhibits. So in this way the balance is maintained, because whenever we are moving our body in any direction, one group of muscle must contract, other must relax to make the body stable. Same thing happens with the otolith organ. So when we are moving the head in different direction, front, back, so there will be movement exactly opposite on either sides. So this are the group of muscle which you have shown: head group of muscles, neck muscles and body muscle. All of them will try to maintain the position of head with respect to the body. So everywhere we are having this black alpha motor neuron fibers which are supplying the muscle. Now let's see the role of cerebellum in this. If you recall, cerebellum has got three functional parts: vestibulocerebellum, spinocerebellum and neocerebellum. Neo is having connection with the cortex. Spinocerebellum has in connection with the spinal cord. And vestibulocerebellum is taking connection with the vestibular apparatus. So from here are going to the vestibular nuclei, and from here they are joining the vestibulospinal tract. Remaining this are not involved in the fastigious nucleus, emboliformis nucleus. They are not involved in this process. So in this how this vestibular cerebellum connections is there for the maintenance of fluid. Now here we can again recall the role of vestibular cerebellum here. Motor cortex. If you recall, motor cortex has got two siblings which are giving good feedbacks for corrections. One is a cerebellum, other is a basal ganglion. So whatever action comes to be executed from motor cortex, either idea in the mind or sensory stimulation. Impulse always go to this 2 before for execution. So that is a plan of action coming from motor cortex. Simultaneously, spinal cord sends the muscle position, that is called as a proprioception. Means what is the current position of the body, at what position muscle are there, what is the flexion extension level of the different group of muscles. So this cerebellum again give a feedback to motor cortex to thalamus. So here now for equilibrium, vestibular cerebellum will be playing that role. So vestibular cerebellum will be receiving copy from motor cortex as well as spinal cord. So here corrections takes place and they are going to motor cortex for execution to the descending tract, corticospinal tract. So these are the two afferents to the cerebellum. These are the efferents. Now this is the plan of action coming from motor cortex to cerebellum. This is the proprioception current position. Based on that, necessary correction will be given by cerebellum back to motor cortex for execution to the spinal cord. So ultimately this correction is coming down again to our spinal cord motor neurons. So in this way, cerebellum plays a role in the regulation of balance by giving feedbacks to the motor cortex. So here we have clubbed all things. Vestibular nerve coming from our vestibular nuclei, which is connecting with our vestibular cerebellum, which will again give feedbacks to the vestibular nucleus, which will come down from vestibulospinal tract, and ultimately execution takes place. So here you can see these two impulses are coming from other sides and they are ending and supplying the respective muscles, and in this how the balance maintains. So one side gets stimulated, other is getting inhibited. So like this, body's balance is maintained when this is active. So in the vestibular apparatus, if you recall, we are having semicircular canal. Stimulation of this endolymph is displaced. Moment of cupula increases in the firing rate. Movement in opposite direction inhibits the neural activity. And a response to linear acceleration, ventricle response to horizontal acceleration, sacral response to vertical acceleration. Otolith are more dense than the endolymph. So acceleration in any direction causes them to be displaced in opposite direction. So here you can see. So we will try to prove this experimentally. Here we are taking a section at the lower end of the midbrain. That means only hindbrain remains. That is pons and medulla remains. So this section is called as a hindbrain section. So in this, what is happening? Effect of all the cortex and basal ganglion has gone on the muscle. So in this, there is a rigidity develops. This is called as a decerebrate rigidity. We have removed the cerebrum. So influence of cortex as well as basal ganglion has gone. So this animal will have rigidity in all four limbs. So it is called as classically decerebrate rigidity. Now in this animal, what we do, we also remove the neck nerve, sensory neck nerves. So according to some other experiment, the tonic neck reflex is there. So we are trying to remove the influence of neck reflex in that one. And only now what we'll do, we'll change the position of head of the animal with respect to the body in different direction, as well as we'll place the animal in different position, prone, supine, lateral position, and try to see, because of changes in position, what happens to the effect of tone. Rigidity was there, all four limbs are extended, and what will happen if we are keeping the animal prone, supine and lateral position. So let's see now. So animal placed on the back, rigidity is maximum. So this is the influence coming from our vestibular apparatus. Animal turn on one side, rigidity is decrease. So as we are changing the position of the body, there is movement of this, our vestibular apparatus. semicircular canal, otolith organ, utricle sacral, and with respect to that, the tone changes. So the rigidity is modified when we are changing the position of head. And you can see as the effect of cortex is gone in this animal, purely the effect is coming from this brainstem region only. Animal placed on prone, rigidity is minimum. So this is the effect of gravity on this otolith organ, on hair cells, and because of the movement of the hair cells in different direction, there is a changes of impulse coming from vestibular nuclei and the tone is modified. So this reflects due to changing position of the body, which is assumed to be from vestibular apparatus, is called as a vestibular reflex. So this vestibular reflex means from the vestibular normal, means under normal condition also these are influencing our tone. When we are lying down on the back, the impulse is going from vestibular apparatus is maximum. When you are turning on either side, tone is modified, but due to effect of cortex, these are not visible. So now in this experiment, by taking a section at this level, we are removing the influence coming from the cortex and basal ganglion, and because of that, it is typical like an upper motor neuron lesion. Rigidity muscles are hypertonia will be there. Now this tone will be modified with respect to the body position. So this is called as the tonic vestibular reflex. So role of vestibular apparatus is basically maintaining the position of the head in the space. So we have learned today role of vestibular apparatus in equilibrium, role of brainstem where we are having this vestibular nuclei, which is a connecting center for vestibular apparatus with the cerebellum. We have seen role of cerebellum, that is a vestibular cerebellum. Spinal cord is the ultimate destination for all effects. All this alpha motor neuron, gamma motor neuron influences coming from spinal cord. And lastly, we have learned vestibular reflex, which is arising from vestibular apparatus, controlled at the level of brainstem, and ultimately it is influencing the muscle tone through the spinal cord. So here we are completing the physiology of equilibrium and balance. And let's just have a story of ATCOM, that is attitude. With respect to attitude of the ATCOM, see, Dr. Ganesh was conducting a medical checkup camp in nearby village along with his class fellow Dr. Vikas. One day, Gram Panchayat chairman arranged felicitation ceremony for both doctors. During ceremony, Dr. Vikas was focused due to his personal relationship with the chairman. Dr. Ganesh felt insulted and stopped doing the camp from that day onwards. What do you think regarding Ganesh action? Whether his attitude is right, wrong, or in the future if you are encountered with such a situation, what you will do or you shall do. So here we are completing our lecture. Thank you.